Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, August 2nd, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Saab said it is important to remember the past to protect the future from desecration. This as he announced that he had published a booklet entitled 180th Anniversary of the Abolition of Slavery in the West Indies, the Case of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, at a ceremony held yesterday to name the Raboka Recreational Park the Joseph Chatoyer National Park. The Prime Minister said schools and libraries will have copies of the book, which will assist in remembering this nation's past.
Commemoration of today, I have written a booklet called the 180th Anniversary of the Abolition of Slavery in the West Indies, the Case of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm going to make sure that the printry prints enough copies to circulate to the libraries and to the schools, and for it to be put on the government website. Because this is important as we celebrate and commemorate. We must have memory. Zangi addressed the question in his song. He said we must remember.
A call has been made for Vincentians to develop and embrace a consciousness of their own to take this country boldly into the future. This challenge was given by Member of Parliament for North Windward, Montgomery Daniel, yesterday as the government honored this country's sole national hero, Joseph Chatoyer, by renaming the Raboka Recreational Park in his honor. Yesterday's activities also marked 180 years of the abolition of slavery, and Daniel said he considered it an honor to praise the sacrifice made by Chatoyer, who fought for freedom. Daniel, who pointed to some of the vestiges of colonialism as seen in the names of important institutions, called on Vincentians to chart their own destiny.
I also ask the question that there are some who embraces Her Majesty's prison. What is so majestic about a prison that houses inmates? I believe it is high time that we shake the shackles off of our minds and create an environment of our own, and to move to a greater height, embracing what is noble and what is just to the future of the existence of our own Caribbean civilization. But today, we are here to celebrate our past. And let us do so, recognizing the fact that there has been great contributions by many great leaders. And so let us embrace a consciousness of our own, that we can make an independent country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, proud.
Daniel said developing the Joseph Chatoyer National Park cost an estimated $13 million and called on the government to seek funding from the United Kingdom as part of reparation efforts.
I want to see leave of asking that you ask the British government to fund the establishment of this national park, together with a 5-year operational cost to a total of some $18.5 million. I do so, Prime Minister, understanding that as part of the reparative justice for the Garifuna people, that this country seek from the British those sums of monies for this development.
Also speaking yesterday was Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Saab, who encouraged persons to use the example of Joseph Chatoyer to chart a way forward for all Vincentians.
Japan is our friend. Next door to Japan, not too far away, 4 hours away, is the Republic of China and Taiwan. They are also our friends. And just down the road is Venezuela. They are our friends. And the British also are our friends, and we want a partnership, a good partnership ongoing with them, and the Americans and everybody. Because out of our history, we have to learn to live good with everybody and to have diplomatic skills. Châteauguay was a diplomat, you know. Châteauguay used the French to see if he could play them off against the British. Well, we don't gotta use nobody to play anybody off against anybody. We just have to use our God-given intellect and combine that reasoning with faith in Almighty God and work good with everybody to improve ourselves.
Meanwhile, Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Cecil Mackey, said the Joseph Châteauguay National Park has great potential for the development of tourism and culture. Mackey said it can facilitate many cultural festivals and has the space to host monuments to honor Joseph Châteauguay and other possible national heroes.
Picture this area in a few years with an amphitheater to cater for live cultural performances and concerts. We are developing, as you know, the various festivals throughout the year. Some of them can be brought to this area at the Châteauguay National Park. Picture this area with a food court to cater for all of the different aspects of food that I pointed to you. Picture this area with a nature trail that persons can come and enjoy and understand some of the natural things that were developed in this area. Picture this area with a pool to allow for recreational activity. Imagine this area with a statue of our first hero, Joseph Châteauguay, and possible other heroes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A space will be created for that.
The Culture Minister also highlighted the possibilities the site possesses for a tourism site and considered the naming of the park as a positive step in advancing tourism and culture in the area.
Picture this area with cottages, ecotourism friendly buildings, environmentally friendly buildings, where we can have persons come in on camps as well as hospitality stay. Picture this area with the ability to allow communities to come together and put into practice community tourism, as I pointed to earlier on. Picture this area with all of those things, among other features as identified by the Carib Chief. Today, we are taking the first step towards developing these aspects. And as the Chief said, and I'm saying now, I'm sure the Honorable Prime Minister would say, this is not far-fetched. This is a reality, and we have taken the first step.
A comprehensive survey currently underway to measure levels of poverty in the state is nearing its mid-stage. And officials from the Statistical Department and the wider National Assessment Team continue to seek the cooperation of households which have been randomly selected within the survey sample. In a recent discussion on NBC Radio, senior statistician Chevron Alexander explained that in the Country Poverty Assessment Survey, enumerators are seeking to obtain vital information about the household as a single unit and individuals living within the household.
The Survey of Living Conditions collects information on the food that you eat, your clothing, shelter, and it goes beyond that and collect information on how much you spend for utilities and all these things. And the real reason for us to collect those kind of information is to ensure that we have all that we need to generate what is called a poverty line. And it is that poverty line that determines who are poor and who are not poor. And even among those who are poor, we go further and we study those who can't even afford to feed themselves, those who can't afford to give themselves a good meal. For those of us who know about the Sustainable Development Goals, one of those goals is for us to end poverty in all its form, and another one is to end hunger. The survey of living conditions, particularly the questions on consumption and the question on expenditure, would give us the information we need to determine, where we are going in terms of ending poverty, where we are going in terms of ending hunger.
Alexander said some persons have expressed reluctance about providing the required information, but give the assurance that there are several layers within the system to ensure strictest confidentiality.
We do when this information comes back, we aggregate this data for ourselves. So initially I mentioned that when we select our sample, we select enumeration areas out of census divisions. We have 13 census divisions. At the end of the day, when we process this data, the information is made available to policymakers, to regional, international organizations, to local groups and so forth. The information is made available to them, but only at a certain aggregated level. Now, persons who usually request information from the statistical office, sometimes they complain and they say getting information is like pulling teeth. It's not that getting information is like pulling teeth, but the statistician has to operate in accordance to the Statistical Act. So we aggregate the information, we provide it at a certain level, and for the most part, we provide this data at the census division level so that no individual or household is identified.
Country Poverty Assessment Survey enumerators began fieldwork in March of this year, and data collection will be done up to March 2019. Some 2,800 sample households were randomly selected to participate in the survey. Alexander said it's important that respondents in the selected households cooperate with the enumerators.
So if you're in the sample and we don't get a response from you, that's not really a good thing, because if you don't respond, we can't replace you. We can't replace you because the sampling is scientific, it's random, and if we replace you, it would be affecting, the randomness of the sample. It wouldn't be representative of the entire population, and we want that representativeness, right? So the quality of information, if you refuse, the quality of information will be affected. Usually when we report, if we're reporting the proportion of the population poor, we report this information with certain level of confidence. So when we select our sample, we know what level of confidence that sample would give us when we are reporting on our indicators. Now, the more persons who refuse to be a part of this survey means that we will be reporting at a lower level of confidence. And to report at a lower level of confidence means that the data may not be as accurate as we would like for it to be. The indicators may not be as accurate as we would like for it to be, and could be misleading, thereby affecting policies adversely.
Persons within the selected households who have queries are also encouraged to get in touch with the Statistical Department at telephone number 4572921. Music professionals in SVG were on Tuesday, July 31st, recognized for their contribution to the development of the art form as the SVG Association of Music Professionals, SVG-AMP, staged its 5th annual awards ceremony. The awards took place at the Peace Memorial Hall and from 7 p.m. featured a red carpet appearance. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
An avenue to reward this nation's outstanding music professionals for their hard work and continued dedication to the music industry, the 2018 SVG Association of Music Professionals AMP Awards is said to have delivered. In an earlier interview, President and well-known musician Gary Choots Young told SVGTV News that the association is pleased to harness and promote the development of the creative industries, and this year's event will aim to feature and recognize legendary artists for their immense contribution contribution to music over the years, and it did just that. At Tuesday's red carpet event, a number of music professionals walked away with awards in some 17 categories. Those winners are Gospel Single of the Year, Hayden Bilingi with a song No Life, Calypso Single of the Year, Fire Empress Guilty, Dancehall Single of the Year, Kid Currency, Wine For Me, Hip Hop / R&B Single of the Year, Gary Bino, Sovereignty, Raga Soca Single of the Year, Hans John, Sugar Mommy, Best Christmas Single, Yafatu with Santa Sensei, Soca Single of the Year, Shirts, Problem Child James, Don't Kill the Vibe. James also walked away with the Songwriter of the Year award. Best New Artiste, Joanna Christopher. Best Music Video, Skinny Fabulous featuring Azaria Gibson and Darren Andrews, Good People. The trio also copped the Best Collaboration award. Disc Jockey of the Year, Joel the Fugitive Bibi. Best Live Band, Kinetic. Musician of the Year, Rodney Small. Producer of the Year, Kimwell Carbon Jam Stapleton. Record of the Year, Joel Dynamite Tyrrell with Brave. And Entertainer of the Year, Gamal Skinny Fabulous Doyle. Legendary awards were also presented to veteran Calypsonian Cornelius Poser Williams, Benji Rootsman Collins, Geoff Venner, and promoter the late Ricky Hillocks. Renowned songstress Judy Boucher was presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award for her years of producing stellar hits loved here at home and abroad. Formed in 2010, the SVG Association of Music Professionals AMP said it remains committed to gathering shared ideas and information as they work together to channel opportunities for the establishment of platforms for Vincentian musical heritage. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Teenagers aged 13 to 18 years are being given the opportunity to learn a range of coping skills through a youth development program to be hosted by the New Democratic Party, the NDP. The inaugural Youth Development Program, which is slated to take place from August 20th to the 24th, will address topics including critical thinking, communication, conflict resolution, human sexuality, and indecent assault. General Secretary of the NDP, Tyrone James, explained the idea behind the one-week event.
A lot of other groups and individuals have been talking about the direction our young people have been going, and it is of great concern to us. Now, identifying the problem is one, but providing solutions is another thing, and we want to be part of the solution. So this youth development program is a direction, is a strategy in that direction, towards providing solutions. We're hoping that this program will provide positive values and hopefully guide the youths along a more positive direction, have them make a more positive life choices and so on. Its registration is open to any person, male or female, ages from 13 to 18 years. Any intention, any person here who wishes to participate, all you have to do is to come to the NDP headquarters, you get a registration form, you fill it out, and you bring that in. And that it's a first come, first serve basis. We're looking at 40 participants, so once we get to that number, then that's it.
James said the program will be evaluated so it can guide future similar programs.
This is the inaugural program. The first program we'll be doing. So we'll be doing a review of it after action, if I may say, and see what went well, what did not go too well, and make some adjustments. And once that goes okay, we'll be looking at expanding the program by having maybe 2 or 3 similar programs, one-week programs next year. I may say also that one of the things we are also looking at is having a junior program for persons from 5 years to 12 years. And we hope we'll be doing that this year also, but we'll get some more information on that.